Yeah, I hear it all the time in sports, right? It all comes down to the big moment or, performance is all about match day. And it sounds great, it's dramatic, but for anyone who really takes this stuff seriously, it's kind of a myth.
It really is.
What if the champion you are on a Sunday, the one hitting perfect bandejas and reacting instantly at the net, what if that player is actually built between Monday morning and Friday evening?
That is precisely the idea we're digging into today. We've got this source, this padel performance blueprint, and it just completely shifts the focus. It's not about playing matches, it's about viewing the entire week as the competition.
Okay, so let's unpack this blueprint. Our mission is to move past that casual player mentality and really adopt a tree training mindset.
Yeah.
We're looking at a framework built for success, one that focuses on consistency and recovery just as much as time on the court.
Exactly. This blueprint sees the whole 7-day cycle as the training unit. And the philosophy is, well, it's uncompromising. Champions are built Monday to Friday, full stop.
So you can't just cram for it.
You can't. It's the structure, the intention, the effort across your whole life that dictates success when the pressure is on.
All right, so if structure is the foundation, let's start right there. The blueprint lays out a very specific, ideal weekly architecture, and it stresses balance.
Balance above all else. It specifically warns against that trap of playing, 4 or 5 high-intensity games back-to-back.
Which just leads to burnout.
Burnout, fatigue, injury. Yeah.
So what's the structure? What does it look like?
It's very deliberate. For a serious player, you're looking at 3 to 4 dedicated, high-quality training days.
Okay.
Then you balance that with 1 to 2 match days. That's your high-stress practice. And this is the crucial part. It mandates 1 full scheduled recovery day.
It's so counterintuitive for motivated people to schedule rest. You feel like taking a day off is wasting time.
Right, or it's a sign of weakness.
Yeah. So what's the argument for mandating it?
It's purely performance-based. It has nothing to do with feeling tired. If you wait until you feel burnt out or you feel that little twinge of an injury, you've waited too long.
You've already done the damage.
You've already done the damage, and you've stopped optimizing the gains you made earlier in the week. Recovery isn't downtime. It's when your muscles actually rebuild stronger.
So you're breaking down in training.
And you're building up during recovery. By scheduling it, you guarantee that repair cycle happens. It's non-negotiable insurance for your body.
That reframes it completely. It's not passive rest. It's an active part of the process.
Precisely.
Okay, let's move into those 3 or 4 training days then. The blueprint is very specific about quality over quantity. And it starts with the one thing everyone skips.
The warm-up.
The mandatory 10 to 15-minute warm-up protocol.
It has to be mandatory. Padel is just so unique. You've got these sudden, explosive lateral bursts, all this rotational power. Think of the core twisting during a vibra.
And what specific movements are we talking about here? Why are they so critical for padel?
So we're not talking about just holding a stretch. It's about dynamic stretches for the hamstrings and quads, dedicated shoulder rotations to lubricate the rotator cuff.
Which takes a beating in padel.
A massive beating. Then you've got deep hip mobility work and some light, quick footwork drills.
And the reason for this isn't just to feel good.
Not at all. It's twofold. First, injury prevention. You're trying to combat things like rotator cuff tendinitis, ankle sprains, all the common padel stuff.
Okay.
And second, it sharpens your reaction speed. Those footwork drills prime your nervous system. It's the difference between reacting instantly to a serve and being caught flat-footed.
Moving on from the warm-up, the advice on technical focus is probably the most surprising part. The blueprint insists each training session should focus on only one main skill.
It's all about fighting what's called skill scatter.
Skill scatter.
Yeah, when you try to practice forehands, backhands, volleys, and smashes all in one 90-minute session, you don't apply enough pressure to really ingrain the pattern for any single one of them. The quality just plummets.
So by focusing on just one, you're going deeper into the mechanics.
You're forcing deliberate practice. For instance, the blueprint suggests this great 3-day rotation. Day 1 is all about forehand and backhand ground strokes.
Right.
Day 2, you move to the net, volleys, net play, controlling the depth. And day 3 is reserved for power shots, overheads, vibras, lobs. You force yourself to solve the problems of one skill before you move on.
That makes the quality over quantity idea really actionable. You're not just hitting balls, you're dissecting a skill.
And if you don't nail it that day, you know exactly what to work on next week. It just brings so much clarity.
Okay, we can't talk training without strength and conditioning, S&C. The blueprint says 2 to 3 days a week for that. Is this just general gym work?
It can't be. It has to be padel specific. The sport demands explosion and rotational stability. So, just going for a long run won't cut it.
So what are the focus areas?
Legs, core, shoulders, and forearms. They all directly support the game's unique demands.
Give me an example of that connection. Why the core?
Well, the core is everything. Every single rotational shot, the vibra, the bandeja, it all starts from the core. Without a strong core, you're just using your arm.
Which leads to less power
And a much higher risk of injury, especially lower back strain. We're talking planks, rotational work, medicine ball throws. That's what builds that stability.
and the legs.
Legs are your foundation for explosive movement. So squats and lunges, yes, but with a focus on single leg stability. Padel is all about lunging and pushing off one leg. Strong legs mean you get to the ball earlier and with more balance.
Which is control.
Exactly. It translates directly into control.
All right, so if the physical prep is built Monday to Friday, let's shift focus. Let's talk about the internal game and, the fuel. The blueprint really emphasizes that being a champion isn't just about the swings.
This is where we get into the mental and tactical pillars. And the main strategy is actually very simple. Play smart, not hard.
Which means ignoring that temptation to hit the amazing winner every time.
Yes, it's about focusing on strategic safety.
What exactly is a high percentage shot in padel then?
It's a shot, you can make 9 times out of 10 that still puts pressure on your opponents. So deep cross-court lobs to push them back, hitting the back glass to force an awkward return.
Hitting their feet at the net.
Hitting their feet at the net, it means leaving that ridiculous jumping cross-court smash alone,
That makes sense. And beyond shot selection, it really stresses communication and how you handle mistakes.
And that's the definition of mental resilience, isn't it? Mistakes are going to happen. The worst thing you can do is let a missed volley bleed into the next 3 points.
The downward spiral.
Exactly. The advice is stay calm, take a breath, and get that next point mentality. High-level players, their reaction to an error is immediate, but it's also fleeting. They just move on.
It's fascinating because it seems technical skill gets you on the court, but it's the mental game, the nerves, the composure that actually separates winners from losers when the score is 5-5.
100%. Matches are won mentally. A calm mind keeps choosing that high percentage shot instead of panicking.
Okay, let's talk fuel, nutrition. This can't be an afterthought anymore, right?
Absolutely not. You have to treat your nutrition like it's part of your training.
So what does the blueprint say?
Well, it's pretty clear. Padel is an intermittent sprint sport, right?
Yeah.
Short bursts of max effort. That means carbohydrates are your essential fuel on training days. They replenish what you burn.
And what about protein? People usually just think about a protein shake after a workout.
And that's a mistake. Protein needs to be a daily thing for continuous muscle recovery all week. And you can't neglect healthy fats either. They're vital for joint support, fighting inflammation.
And there's a big negative in there, too, a big don't. It says explicitly avoid junk food before a session.
That's performance suicide. You get that quick energy spike and then the crash.
Right when you need to be sharpest.
Exactly. You get sluggish, you get mental fog. You spend all week preparing your body, and then you sabotage it with bad fuel.
And hydration isn't just about chugging water right before you play.
It's an everyday concern. Consistent water intake is the baseline. But for those longer, more intense sessions, anything over an hour, you have to add electrolytes to replace the salts you lose.
And what's the direct consequence if you don't? Why should you really care?
It's immediate. Dehydration equals slow reactions. Imagine you miss a crucial point because your brain was a millisecond too slow processing a rebound off the glass. That millisecond is often just a lack of water.
Wow. That's a stark way to put it. Okay, that moves us perfectly into our next section. The thing that the blueprint calls mandatory training, but that most people just see as downtime, sleep and recovery.
Sleep is training. Full stop.
Right.
The target is 7 to 9 hours a night. But more than the number, it's about a consistent sleep schedule. Your body's internal clock releases growth hormone for tissue repair on a schedule. If your sleep is chaotic, your body's repair shop is chaotic.
And we already talked about the recovery day not just being about sitting on the couch. It's an active recovery day. What does that actually look like?
Active recovery is all about promoting blood flow to clear out metabolic waste, like lactic acid, without causing more muscle damage.
So things like
a light walk, maybe some easy cycling, dedicated stretching or yoga, and using tools like a foam roller is huge.
So if I just sit around all day, my recovery isn't actually maximized.
Correct. When you train, you create microdamage in the muscles. Passive rest allows for repair, but active recovery accelerates that repair. It's productive time.
And finally, there's the golden rule for injury management. Listen to your body.
This is where so many motivated players fail. They push through discomfort. The advice is crystal clear. Pain does not equal normal. We're talking about sharp, specific pain, not just general soreness.
So to treat those small injuries early.
You have to. Things like elbow tendonitis or a little ankle twinge, if you ignore them, they become season-ending problems.
Okay, so if we connect this whole blueprint together, the structure, the drills, the fuel, the rest, we can kind of distill it down into some final golden rules for padel players.
Yeah, this is the synthesis. The 5 mandatory rules for weekly success. Number 1, warm up every single session. No excuses.
Right.
Number 2, train smart. Focus on quality, not just volume.
That one skill a day idea.
Exactly. Number 3, eat and hydrate properly every single day. View it as fuel. Number 4, recover properly. Make it active and planned.
And number 5.
Stay positive, and most importantly, be absolutely consistent with the whole routine.
So that structured approach,
Yeah.
that's the only sustainable path to really maximizing your potential. The essential message is that success is built brick by brick, Monday through Friday.
That's it. The source wraps it all up with that simple phrase. Champions are built Monday to Friday, not only on match day.
Which leads us to the final provocative thought for you to consider.
Yeah, based on the priorities in this blueprint, if you had to choose between adding an extra hour of technical drilling on a Thursday or ensuring you got an extra hour of high-quality, consistent sleep on Wednesday night, which choice most accurately honors the spirit of this padel performance blueprint?
A question of immediate versus long-term returns. Something to think about as you build your own pile week. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.